Okay, here we go. This is the briefing from Military Times for the week of November 8th, 2019. A look at what you missed while you were out there spreading freedom. First off, this week's headlines. Let's hit the gas.
From the Military Times newsroom, I'm Andrea Scott. Is there more drama coming in the court-martial of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher and 2 other cases of service members accused of war crimes? This week, Navy Times and Fox News reported that the president had decided to take action in all 3 cases, including reinstating Gallagher's rank over the decision of the fleet's top admiral, and unspecified involvement in the cases of 2 soldiers accused of murder. In those last 2 cases, which involve Green Beret Major Matthew Goldstein and First Lieutenant Clint Lawrence, the president's action is unspecified. Military Times will continue to follow that developing story. Okay, over to South Korea. A big, fat target. That's how the U.S. military presence on the Korean Peninsula was reportedly described by North Korea, as a huge mass of the Army's presence in the area was concentrated within the range of its artillery. To help mitigate the threat, the Army is now in the final phase of moving troops from Yongsan Garrison to a new facility 40 miles south of Seoul, though that area is still within range of the North's ballistic missiles and large-caliber rockets. The $11 billion, 3,500-acre base was largely funded by South Korea. Okay, take me back to the U.S. Capitol. What happens if Congress subpoenas you to testify, but your commander-in-chief tells you not to? Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman found himself in that position recently as part of the House impeachment inquiry and the president's actions surrounding military aid and investigations in Ukraine. Could Vindman get court-martialed for testifying against President Donald Trump's order? Experts say the order itself might not be lawful, and the question is tricky enough that Vindman may not face charges for testifying. But man, talk about a tough spot. Vindman is officially assigned to the National Security Council. And finally, you want to see what happens when you mess with the U.S. Navy circa 1942? Head to the bottom of the Pacific. There, researchers recently discovered the wrecks of 2 of the 4 carriers sunk by American forces in the Battle of Midway, 17,000 feet below the surface of the sea. The wreckage was located by a crew of a research vessel called the Petrel, backed by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. How'd they get there? Let Hollywood over-dramatize that for you.
We got the order to launch!
We need to throw a punch so they know what it feels like to be hit.
We're talking about a couple dozen planes against a whole Japanese fleet. This isn't a fair fight. I don't know how to lead these men.
I don't know if that's accurate. Woody Harrelson doesn't have hair. Midway premieres in theaters November 8th.
All right, time to hit you where it hurts. TikTok, your latest favorite app for videos of your friends doing whatever, might be a security risk because of the Chinese company that owns it. Let's go over to the Pentagon for more.
So a handful of senators are concerned that because TikTok, which is a social media platform, it's a video messaging service, because it is owned by a Chinese company, there are concerns that it might be sharing Americans' user data with the Chinese government, and that could be a national security risk. So the Treasury Department has opened a review of the app to see if that's the case, if there's any risk to Americans for using the app. So this could be of concern to troops and to the services, not only because there are service members who use TikTok, but because there are commands and units that sometimes use TikTok in an official capacity. For instance, U.S. Army Recruiting Command has encouraged recruiters to get on TikTok because that is where their target audience is. And so there's a possibility that some of these recruiters, some of these NCOs could have their personal data shared because they are on the app. So for now, the Defense Department doesn't have any specific guidance for TikTok, and they're not moving to ban service members from using it. They are just telling everybody to refer to the personal security training that they already get that applies to all social media platforms.
Can't have nice things. Okay, no elimination round this week. Instead, it's Military Times Explains with a look at what's in an international MRE. Military Times managing editor Howard Altman and Marine Corps Times editor Andrea Scott are the guinea pigs this week. Italy. Let's see what's in it.
We need some music.
You want me to pour it?
We need some napkiones here. Napkins, please.
No, we literally didn't get any. All right.
That's yours. That's mine. All right. We have a bowl of minestrone, and then we move on to the ravioli. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Would you like to go first?
It looks like canned soup. Tastes like MSG. Got it. Very good.
It's a very
thin.
thin. It's a very
Watery,
thin,
watery.
watery, with a little bit of tomato taste. They say soup is good food. This is almost soup, so it's almost good food.
This is like straight graham cracker, which is weird because it's white, but
This would be good with like a lot of garlic and some pepper, some salt. But sorry, this won't kill you. If you're out in the field, this is better than some other things they've eaten. If you're out in the field, you get a nice minestrone, you heat it up nice, you'll be okay.
That's it. Go watch a documentary or call your mother or write those thank you notes you haven't done.